Hey, Vader here. This is kind of the second video, if you will, on inspecting my CVT again. I had a question by some of the people watching the video asking how did I get the belt back on. And one of the tricks was that in between the clutch pulleys, the belt originally rests about 1/4 of an inch in. And that gave you enough room for the belt to slide over the lip of the variator pulley. It's like it grew it grew a 1/4 of an inch. That's not how it worked. So trying to figure out, okay, how do you get this back in there like it was? Well, what I had found was that you had to take, in the old snowmobile days, you could take the centrifugal clutch and spin it a little bit and rotate the thing, and the belt would flop in. Well, you don't have that choice here. There's a lot of tension on this thing, so what I did was I was able to turn it, squeeze it, and turn it, and then I just took something and I jammed it in between, giving me a better opening for the belt to go in that 1/4 inch. Now obviously that isn't quite there, but that is basically the trick. You got to find something that will allow you to spin it and jam something in there really good to keep it open, because you need to open this. Now let's see, you can tell the opening of the clutch is quite a bit. I'm about 1/4 of an inch open right there, otherwise it's collapsed. It's completely closed. You turn it, you squeeze it and turn it and open it up about 1/4 of an inch. That belt has plenty of room to slide up inside here 1/4 of an inch to give you that room to slip over that lip. And when you do that, for it to slip over that lip right here, because it's got to go over that lip right there. It has to. So that's how I did it. That's the trick of the clutch. Getting the belt, again, it's got to be 1/4 of an inch in, and you squeeze it and turn it so it opens it up in there, and belt fits in. Pull your little thing that you jammed it open with, put it under, go around there like you didn't do nothing before. Okay. Like I had said on the video, you got to pull and squeeze it, and it turns, and it will turn clockwise. Okay, it turns clockwise when you're squeezing this here. You're squeezing, you're pulling it between here, and it's turning at the same time. And you have to open it up 1/4 of an inch. Okay, just like that. You open it up about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, what that does, I just jammed something in there, and it took me a little while to figure out what to jam in there. You put the belt back on, and there's your 1/4 inch that you need. That's enough. As long as it goes past that first rib right here. Let me show you. There's a little rib right here. As long as it goes past that first rib, you're golden. It'll all go right back on the CVT, the lip of the pulley of the CVT variator, and you won't have no problem. It's like it grew 1/4 of an inch, which it did not, obviously, but it's because you take, the clutch pulleys are opened up enough to set the belt further inside the pulleys. So that's the trick to getting the belt back on. And what I'll do is when I get this put back together, get it ready to put back together, I'll take and have it prepped, and I'll demonstrate how it goes back on. But anyways, the next step, I got to take the glazing off this again, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any good on this portion of it. I'm going to sand it, hit it with sandpaper, but I mean, it's hard steel, you know, so I'm not sure if that's my problem at hand, to be honest with you. But that's the clutch bell. You know, I'll do what I can with it and spray it out real good, make sure I ain't got no grease on it and stuff like that. But I did find out also the little thing about this nut here. Basically, you can either get a impact socket that fits this. I don't know what size that would be off the top of my head. There's also markings where this should line up to, I'm supposing, because it looks like they did a line up here. So when you put it back on, I would think that should match up. But anyways, when you take this off, it's already compressed. It's as compressed as it's going to go. That's why I had a hard time with the tool. And when you undo this, it's going to want to fly off. So what you do is you do it, you just do it real careful. You got to kind of hold it down. Do your best. A lot of tension behind it. And just loosen the nut. This is the carrier nut. Loosen it, and then once it's released, it'll come up. Probably sit this high. And, about here. And that's it. And now you got the inner workings, and you got this clutch pack off and all that stuff. So that's basically the trick. I did redo the tool. I re-welded it. Made it stronger, and I know it's going to work, so I don't have any problems with that. That'll work to compress it back. I bought another spring compression tool. It's made by ZTR. I got this for a pretty good deal. I got it for 25 bucks on eBay. It's used for like my Hondas. They have the smaller one you set inside, and this is what this one's used for. It's basically the same theory, but that's for like the smaller clutch bodies and clutch spring units. Mine obviously won't fit inside that. It's a whole different way of doing it. But anyways, so there's my two videos right now. I did take the variator off with the rollers. I'm going to take it apart, spray it all out, clean it, get rid of all that what I put on there. This deal is in good shape. I'm not worried about this thing at all. Everything went well. The bearings are okay. Everything went fine. Putting it, when I put it back together the first time and ran it, it's just that little vibration that I'm not impressed with. I just don't think I think it should be less than what it is. So, I'm going to, I think next year, put sliders on. I did put some bearing grease here because there's a bearing that rides on here. I'm going to clean this off again. I got that special lube grease that I bought. This is it's a polyura type grease. This is what Yamaha recommends, is the polyura grease for the variators. For its wide temperature, it'll go handle past 350 degrees, resist hardening. It's meant specifically for this kind of stuff. I paid $4 a tube on eBay, or on the internet. $4 a tube for this stuff. and that's cheap. I mean, this stuff will last me, I bought 2 of them, it'll last me 10 lifetimes, you know. But I bought 2 of them, and I'm going to put it in the in the sheave inside the variator. You know, put it inside here in the bearing that's behind the seals, and you know, grease it up good. I used a good bearing grease for the clutch spindle, which is hooked to the transmission, because it's the transmission behind here. And I'll put a good bearing grease on here, and on this spindle here on the on this shaft here, the spline shaft here, which is hooked directly to the engine. I'll make sure some of that grease is on there too, you know. But came apart fine. I mean, it just, everything's going to be okay with it. I just wanted to get, basically show everybody the trick of putting the belt on. If you have any questions, please ask, comments. But that's the trick I found. It takes a little muscle. You'll get it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But that's how you do it. And I'll show you when I get it ready to put back together again. I'll demonstrate that I've gained my distance I need and how it just goes over that lip, and we're done. So, anyways, this is Vader out for now, and my next video will probably be just putting her back together. So, demonstrating that. So, that's it for now. Vader out.